Hey guys, I thought I would try something a little bit different for my maths videos for a little while and tell me what you think. This is a program called OneNote, and I'm going to go through some map reading stuff with you and solidify that concept a little more. Okay, so we've talked in class about types of maps and also different ways that they can be presented, okay? So this one is called an alphanumeric map. Okay, I am still learning. That's even better. Okay, cool. Alphanumeric map. So what that means is that we've got alpha meaning letters, okay, and then we've also got numeric meaning the numbers on the side. Okay, so the things to remember is that even though there's the letters up the top and down the bottom, you can use either the top or the bottom. And the other thing to remember is the numbers can be on both sides, so you can just use one. So say if I had a map reference of A1, okay, I would use my finger or a pen to work out that it would be A, and I'd trace up, and 1 across. Okay, so the reason why we've got two sets is that sometimes if you've got something here in the top right hand corner, it's easier to use this set, right? But if it's like down here or something, you might use this set of numbers, but you should always arrive at the same place, okay? Another thing to remember if you are asked to provide the coordinates for something is that the letter always goes first. And if you remember alphanumeric, you should know that the alpha letters, that's going to go first. Numeric is a second word, so it goes second. Okay, so another thing that we've spoken about in my class is that sometimes you can have the numbers on, like in between the squares there and the letters, or sometimes, not in this map, but I've seen it in others, they can be on, like on the line. So like say the 5 might be there. And so just be aware of that if you're asked to provide coordinates or asked to find something that you do that correctly. Okay, so let's do some examples. So if I was to give a map reference for Sydney, okay, which you can see down here, let me just get rid of this stuff. Wow, this thing is magic. I love it. Okay, so if you were asked to provide a map reference for Sydney, okay, so you see that the Sydney dot is here, okay, I would presume or know that that square is the one that the dot is mostly in. Okay, so I would go, all right, well it's an 8, but I need to do my letter first. So I've got K, or K is up here, you can't see it on my picture. And so I've got K, 8 would be the answer for that. Okay, let's choose another one. Say if I chose Vegas, which is up here, and you can see that the dot on this map, just by the way it's been presented, is a little bit over into the other square, but it's mostly in this square, so that would be the most correct answer, and so I would have N2. Okay, if you're asked to provide more than one coordinate, you should put a comma in between if it's in the same answer, just to keep it nice and clear. All right, cool. I want to show you something else now. How good is this tool, hey? This is another kind of grid. Now it's not a map in this case because there's actually nothing on it yet, but we also, we usually call it the Cartesian, I think that's spelled correctly, plane. Okay, fancy maths terminology. It's a little bit more challenging because it's, as you can see, it's both numbers along the bottom and numbers up the side. But if you're looking closely, you can see that there is a letter for each axis, which is this here. Okay. So the golden rule for this is that we always go x-axis first, x-axis number first, and then y-axis up here, okay? Now just want to make this clear, this isn't something that you might have looked at in class just yet, okay? So this is a little bit extra for you. Okay, so if you can't remember what axis is what, because sometimes they won't put the x and y on there, something that my maths teacher taught me was that if you're tracing the x in this funny way that I have here, which is an algebra style x, you're going to do this with your pen essentially, okay? So that means that way, and then if you've got the y, down that way, okay? So an easy way to remember it. All right, so if you're asked to give coordinates, on a Cartesian plane, or you're asked to provide a marker on a Cartesian plane, let's do the first one first. So say if I've got a dot point here or something here, okay, and they're asking you what coordinates are they. So you're going to do the x coordinate first, okay, that's a 2, and then you're going to do your y coordinate next, which is a 3. So it's the same principle as what we were doing with the alphanumeric map, okay, you're tracing along and then finding the other figure or value and then meeting that in the middle. And you can use your fingers to do that, or you can use a pencil as well. Okay, so the other type of question you might have is to place a point on a Cartesian plane given the coordinates. So say if my coordinates that they asked me to do was 5, 8, okay, 5, the first one is always the x, okay, so that's this one here, so my 5, and then the 8 is the other one, which is up here. Okay, so I go 5, trace up, and then 8 across. You can actually go further, and then it's like the point where it crosses. Okay, alright, so I hope that helps. There's a few more things in class that you'll learn, of course, but that's just the basics.